Welcome everybody to the Pantsless Podcast. Mics are on. That's all gravy. My name is Tamala. With me here is Northern Savant and Gradigi and smile and wave, boys. So yeah, welcome everyone to what seems to be a resemblance of hell on earth. But for a lot of us, it's essentially just another Wednesday. And Joe is super blurry. We like can't fucking. Honestly, one thing that I actually think it might be because like one of the reasons is that I stream. I use a lot of my power on the stream itself. I wonder if that like affects Discord, upping my bitrate and stuff on like on OBS and shit. Because I feel like these issues started after I switched over to OBS and started streaming like super, like 1080, 60 FPS.
Could be.
Yeah, north is super clear. I am super clear, but for some reason, our Yanks. We only have one here now, but Trevor's not here because of work. He's here in spirit though. We have Pikachu face on his spot. Yeah, I don't know. Like I have honestly I don't know. I'm using US East server on Discord and everything, and just it's. Anyway, I'd like to take at least a little while to express or more acknowledge that for the past 2 weeks, especially in the United States, we have seen massive protests in response to the killing of George Floyd, who was yet another unarmed black man killed by police in broad daylight. These protests have engulfed the entire United States at this point. All 50 states have been participating in these protests. We have also seen protests elsewhere in major cities around the world, including, but not limited to, Tokyo. We've seen in London one, in Berlin, in Amsterdam, in Paris, and even here, I'll shout out my own homeboys here in Helsinki. We had a peaceful protest of around 3,000 people, which got dispersed very quickly because they were violating social distancing guidelines. Because, of course, what seems to be hell on earth, but for all of us, another fucking Wednesday, the coronavirus is still a thing and is indeed a pandemic and is still around, and a lot of people are still getting infected, they're getting sick, and some of them are going to die. It is honestly 2020 has been the worst fucking year. Shit just keeps happening, and especially for my American friends, Godspeed for your November elections. I don't know how you will get through that without weird shit happening.
Yeah. It's gonna be wild. It's still wild. But I think that everything that's happening is a necessary thing to happen. I mean, it's been going on for too long. So I'm glad to see that it's starting to change. So, but I do think I think people are forgetting, and I've even seen some people on Twitter say, well, why is everyone protesting safe while I can't go to church or I can't go get my hair done or whatever? It's like, well, they're not. No one said they were. You're not safe just because you're a protester. You still need to wear a mask. Unfortunately, the number of infections are going to skyrocket here in a couple weeks. I dread the day that we get the numbers that from all of this, because they say, and I've read in places that that the tear gas and things like that will actually make the coronavirus spread more. And it makes people more likely to be infected by it, because it basically it tears your lungs up and makes it easier for you to be like it makes you more vulnerable to that infection. So on top of everything else, the way that police are returning, are retaliating is actually making things worse for people just trying to avoid the coronavirus. So hopefully,
what is going to be unfortunate with the coronavirus too is it's going to be politicized by certain members in the United States government and certain news outlets. They are going to use the protests as a scapegoat, and they are going to blame the protests for the increased numbers of infections and deaths, which is unfortunate. I mean, I understand that the protests are definitely not helping quell the coronavirus, but I do recognize that these protests are necessary right now. And the demands are I think reasonable thus far. The only one that I'm not sure how I feel about is the abolishing police in the States. That seems a little bit too wild even for me. But definitely the big thing right now is defunding the police, which personally, fuck you, Tucker Carlson. You don't understand what you're talking about, you fucking asshole. Defunding the police does not mean that there's not gonna be any police. But I understand that he has an agenda. But
yeah, I definitely hope that there's actually gonna be change. Like what I'd read is that all is gonna go down, everyone's gonna get infected with corona, and nothing changes. That's like the worst case scenario. Like hopefully get at least something going on.
Yeah, for sure. That is definitely the worst case scenario. I know one of the proposed changes, because basically the biggest issue is like that a cop has in the States it's called qualified immunity, which basically lets them break the law as long as it's necessary in upholding the law. Unfortunately, cops are the one who get to decide what is necessary and what isn't. So that's one of the proposed changes is severely limiting what qualified immunity covers and making it to where basically and I only read the tweet about it, so I don't know the full extent of it, but I read the tweet that the lawmaker put it out. And basically there's going to be a sort of council of some kind that we'll be able to determine whether or not what the actions you chose were actually violent or necessary. So I think that's definitely a good step in the right direction of just having some other oversight, because whoever decided that internal affairs was a good idea needs shot in the foot. Why in the world would we trust a company to investigate itself? You wouldn't have Microsoft investigate itself and then just be like, nope, we're fine. You would have auditors in there. Well, for law enforcement, they are also their own auditors, which doesn't make any sense. So I think that's one of the big things that is going to change, is that internal affairs is no longer going to be internal. I hope that that's one of the things that changes, because a cop should not be the one to pass judgment on a cop, because that shouldn't be how it works. You know what? We investigated ourselves and we found ourselves completely innocent. Okay, there's nothing I can do. That's the process. That's the thing that needs to change.
It's fucking nuts. And here's like what I've been like seeing a lot of the discussion being like, what people are asking is for more accountability towards police officers and more oversight, like for police officers to do the right thing. Why would anybody object that? Why aren't the police officers?
Because you're corrupt.
Yeah, exactly. Because that it like literally it's not nothing else.
Yeah.
Like I saw that video of that New York police chief, like having that speech where he demanded like people having respect for them and that the media is treating them like animals. And I'm like, but have you fucking seen what the police officers are fucking doing? There's literally in your own city a clip of a police fucking 2 cruisers driving into the fucking public.
Yeah. Did you see that, North? That video?
No, I didn't see that, but that sounds.
It's in
brutal.
that. The only reason I saw it is it's in that 10-minute compilation. But it's literally just a bunch of peaceful protesters standing behind a barricade that they put up, and a squad car comes up to it. It's an SUV, so it's not a small car. Comes up to it, basically bumps his bumper up against it, and they're not moving. He just drives. He just slams it and runs, basically just forces all those people out of the way. Who knows if someone was run over.
Damn.
Yeah. But yeah, we should respect them because they run us over. That's good.
It was necessary for me to drive over this into this huge crowd just to maintain control.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it had to have been like 30, 40 people standing behind that barrier, wouldn't you say, Tom?
Yeah, I mean there was a
If
bunch
not
of
more.
people. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to know what crime he thought that running innocent people over was necessary to defuse.
I do like to say though, to be like completely fucking transparent. Everybody probably knows here, but in case somebody fucking doesn't know, me and North, we don't live in the States. We're both Finnish, and we have no bones to pick here essentially because we're not part of that world. But I for my own sake, at least for what I stand for, I want everybody to have the same levels of equality and justice that I have, even for the people who live in the States. And to see police brutality, to see that systematic racism, to see that systematic corruption that the police forces have in the States, it's insane. It's insane to me to look how the police gets militarized more and more, how they get military grade equipment to protect and serve. Who are they protecting and serving with tanks on the streets? See, I can count with my 5 fucking fingers how many times police officers draw their weapon in Finland. And my point is not here to measure dicks or something. My point is that there's 2 different worlds how police officers operate in compared the States to Finland, where like I would be a proponent for like, let's de-escalate situations, not escalate them. Let's not draw our weapons. Have the weapons holstered and try not to fucking kill somebody. I understand that in a police officer in the United States, especially if they live in one of those states where you can carry guns openly, you have to assume that whatever person you're approaching might have a weapon. I understand that mentality. Like we don't carry guns here. We can't fucking carry guns here. So a police officer has to never think about that here. So it is different. I understand that. And I'm not saying that police officers have an easy job. Not here, not in the States. Probably super difficult. I would never be a police officer myself. And not every cop is a bad cop in the States. I have to believe that the majority of police officers in the States are good people. They are just part of a broken system.
Yeah, I believe that if you are to arrest someone, there should be like levels. If the guy is clearly unarmed, you don't pull out your gun at him. First, you like ask, "Are you unarmed?" or something. See how it goes. If he doesn't want to be touched or detained, then I don't know. Use taser, not point a gun at him, and like use excessive force for that. Like there has to be like some sort of levels.
Yeah, and I said it on Twitter, but I have a lot of family is cops for me. So I have a soft spot for cops. I've probably got half dozen or more close relations that are cops. So I love cops. I hate these people because they're not cops. These are bullies and criminals. Those are not cops. Those are thugs with a badge. And let me tell you what I have one of my cousins. He's a state trooper in California, and he told me something that, and you can take it how you want. It can be seen as a bad thing or a good thing depending on how you look at it. But he told me the way that they were trained to handle a violent situation is you're always escalated one step higher than who you're fighting. If that guy comes at you with
sense to me.
If that guy comes at you with bare knuckles, pull out your taser. If that guy comes at you with a knife, then you get your gun. If that guy is immediately threatening your life, that is when you get your gun. But
yeah, if he has access to like lethal force, of course you're gonna draw your gun at that point.
So, and that's kind of how their thought process, or at least his is, and he's a good cop. He's a good person. He's one of my favorite people in the world, and I look up to him more than anybody almost. And that's what he told me like 15 years ago, and I've always remembered that as even something to protect myself. That if I'm fighting for my life, I should always at least be one step higher than them for maximum safety. And that's how the cops do it too. Unfortunately, how they should do it. But a lot of them apparently just think the next step up from fists is a gun.
So. Yeah, I understand that mentality. And I do agree. I mean, obviously, if someone is charging you with a knife in his hand, then you do whatever means necessary to stop that person. Yeah. But if a dude is sitting in his vehicle with his hands on the steering wheel, that's not the moment when you approach the window like this. Hands in the motherfucking air! Put your hands in the motherfucking air! Motherfucker! Like, and again, I want to preface this. I'm not American. I don't live in that world. But what I've seen for so many years at this point is fucking insane. I can't relate to these things in any way. It's odd. Yeah. It's so fucking odd.
I mean, even in small towns like mine, cops get away with so much stuff. It's absurd. So much stuff that just shouldn't even happen. I know it. I can't remember if I talked about it at one point or not, but my boss's sister got a knock at their front door, and it was a cop with a warrant looking for somebody. They were at the wrong house. They weren't even at the right address. In his sister's front yard, they had a German Shepherd chained up to the front yard, or to a tree, chained to a tree, and it was barking at the police officer, and the cop shot him. Shot that German Shepherd dead right there on the spot because it was barking at him while chained to a tree. He wasn't even at the right house. Nothing happened. That guy wasn't suspended. He didn't receive any kind of reprimand. He went to the wrong house, shot their dog for literally no reason, and it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, they
apparently,
he
said he felt that he's in danger. He said he felt he was in danger from a German Shepherd chained to a tree.
Yeah, and I mean, and look, like I understand that. I don't know. Like, the officers can always say, "I felt threatened," and that's literally the card that they play.
Yeah,
be the situation whatever.
That's the qualified immunity thing, because their qualified immunity, like I said, is whatever they felt necessary to serve justice. Well, if you feel threatened, then your qualified immunity is that you're protecting yourself, and you can just say you felt threatened. That's a blanket statement. I felt threatened, so I killed him. And now I'm not threatened. That was my qualified immunity. And that's literally how it works. It's so busted.
Yeah. I mean, all in all, I think this is probably one of the most important civil movements in like recent, at least, American history going on right now. And what is kind of fucked up is that these are the same things that Martin Luther King talked about and wanted change to happen. And then the dude got assassinated, and then were like riots everywhere. I don't want the protest to turn into riots. I don't want that. I don't want the looting to happen. I don't want the violence to happen. I understand that it will go there in certain situations, because there's so many people out there protesting. There's so many people frustrated. There's so many people angry. There's so many people wanting something else that they can't get right now.
I can't like picture it how you go from like protesting into looting. Like what's in the between? Like there has to be something in between to happen
Yeah.
before you start
See,
looting. Otherwise, you go just like protesting.
there's
looting.
shithead A and shithead B, who don't really care to protest, so they think, well, everybody's out protesting and all the cops are somewhere else, so now would be the great time to go to Target and get that new fucking TV that we wanted.
Or that new Lego set. Did you see that? When the guy goes in, Target is literally burning down around him, and he's walking out with a Lego Star Wars set.
I mean, probably for a present for some kid, you know?
He was wearing a mask though. Got to give him props.
I saw that
That
one
really-
chick that one chick walked out of a cheesecake factory with an entire cheesecake.
Hell yeah!
That was probably the best one.
And then I don't know if this is true or not, but like in that comment section, there was somebody claiming to work for Cheesecake Factory and said that all those like whole cakes that are on display are fake. So it's not even a real cake.
Damn.
But still, like media probably like attacks the protesters being like aggressive and destroying government and private property, and it will make just people look bad. Like there's no don't loot, just have it peaceful. You'll look a lot better. You make a lot better statement with that way.
It all depends on the news company. I mean,
Yeah.
if it's Fox News, they're going to glorify the police every single time. They're going to back up the police. If it's somewhere like CNN, they're going to try to make the police look as bad as possible. They're not necessarily glorifying the protesters, which is what they should be doing. They're just making the police look as bad as possible, which in itself is something that needs done as well. They're the ones, if you saw the clip where the guy is just standing there and it's a black reporter, which the cops they can't help themselves, number one. They can't help themselves but be absurdly dumb and absurdly racist. The guy's just standing there reporting, and they come over and arrest him. And the whole time he's like, tell me where to move, and I'll go. Tell us where to go. And they just say, no, you're under arrest. And he's like, if you want me to go somewhere else, I'll go. They just arrest him right there on live television while it's being recorded and broadcasted on CNN. And they arrest the entire crew right there on the spot.
It's so insane because like during these protests, there's especially like on attacks on press, like the black guy got arrested, then there was that white reporter who got shot by rubber bullets on live TV, and then there was the Australian news crew that the cameraman got like literally hit in the face by a police officer. And the fucked up part is like the Australian embassy like asked for like clarification, like what happened and why did this happen. And I think the NYPD like responded with something, not NYPD, the DC police responded something in like, yeah, the officer just wanted the reporter to move, so he was pushing him away. And you literally see him like clock him right in the face, and he's not even like, he's just trying to fucking film the fucking thing. It's fucking insane. It's so fucking nuts.
Yeah. That's what blows me away is you would think that they would be extra super duper, like cameras are everywhere. This is the time to prove the world wrong. But you just keep proving it right. Like this is the time to prove the world wrong. You have the entire world as a platform to show us that cops aren't racist pieces of shit. And then you just keep being a racist piece of shit. So that's cool, I guess. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't follow that logic. Like if we're giving you we're literally handing you the platform on a silver tray to prove us wrong, and you're just not doing it.
See, to this day, like these protests have been going on for like 2 weeks now, and obviously I haven't seen every clip or every video or nothing, but I have not seen a single clip or single video that I think that justified the usage of tear gas or justified police beating people in the streets with batons, or having a fucking cop car and driving over people. like show me something where the protesters are being aggressive towards the police officers. Yeah, okay, sure, if they threw water bottles at you, it's a fucking plastic water bottle. Get fucking over yourself. It doesn't mean that it gives you the right to go with full fucking riot gear and beat the shit out of people in the streets. The police are literally supposed to be the ones that are above the people. Yeah, the dude that got pushed in Buffalo, and I don't want to bring politics into this, but the tweet that Donald Trump put out on the old man is something that needs to be highlighted. Trump is literally pushing a conspiracy theory where he accuses the old man of being an Antifa not collaborator, but an instigator. And and that he literally wanted to get pushed, and that he literally fell harder than he got pushed so that he could crack open his head and so that he would start bleeding, all on purpose. And then Trump asks if it's a setup or not. The president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen, is pushing a conspiracy theory like that on Twitter publicly for fucking everyone. Hate him or love him, motherfucker.
Yeah, that is probably the most impactful video I've seen so far, at least for me. The guy films a little bit to the background, and there's 5 people there in the distance, and that old man, and the police just swarms over him, and it's
yeah.
I'm at loss of words.
And so that's
horrible.
So that's a good instance of what exactly is wrong. And I was talking to an older person. I would definitely say they are a boomer, and I talked to him about that, and they said, well, it wasn't actually the cop that everyone's blaming. It was a different person that pushed him into him. And I said, and this is what I feel like people are focusing on the wrong thing, because they said that it wasn't this cop, it was a different cop, so people are blowing it out of proportion. But it's not about cops doing those things. If a cop does that thing, a cop is human. It happens. Incidents happen. It's unfortunate that this old guy knocked his head, but it's not about the cop doing that. It's about the cop then saying he tripped. It's an accident. He probably didn't know that guy was going to fall over. I don't think he did, that on purpose. I don't believe that cop had the intention of busting this dude's skull, but it happened. And instead of just taking up for it and helping the old man on the ground, they said that he tripped, and that's in the official report.
The lack of accountability is it needs to fucking change. There needs to be some form of repercussions for incidents like this. I get it. Maybe he didn't mean it. Maybe he had no malice in when he pushed the dude. Because again, I'm trying to be as honest as I can here and try to take my own emotions away from here. The push, the way he pushed him, it did not look like he was using a whole lot of force with it. But I understand the dude's old, and I don't according to the reports, he's 75 years old. I don't know in what kind of fucking condition he is. So maybe that little push is what it needs to happen, and he just fucking falls over. Who knows? If the cop pushed me with that force, I probably wouldn't fall. But then again, I'm not fucking 75 years old.
Yeah.
I feel like there's also what people are not talking about is group mentality. There's the rioters, people are always talking about rioters group mentality, but they're not communicating as much as the police. They have a group mentality too. If there's 5 people who are hot, let's go, let's push them all the way back to whatever, and other people will get the same feeling oh, we're doing this now, let's go, let's push all of them back. They get the same effects in a way. I think you should take that in how, no one talks about that. That's I don't know how to explain it any better. Like,
No,
they
I
still have
definitely.
the same thing.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and that is a huge part of it, because like that group mentality, once one of them decides that protesters are the bad guy or the enemy, then they all think that.
Yeah,
Since
and it gets out of hand.
exactly.
Yeah,
It's
let's remember, like, Derek Chauvin, who killed George Floyd. He had an officer right next to him, a junior officer, who, during that entire ordeal, told Chauvin 2 times to lift his knee off of Derek, from his neck, and he didn't. And Derek Chauvin has like, I don't know how many years, like the other cops, how many years he has on him compared to the junior. But I obviously believe that when there's 40 cops standing in a line, there's probably a pecking order in that 40 cops. And if the senior motherfucker says that the enemy is right in front of you, the juniors are probably be like, oh, gotta fucking do what the chief says.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, that's how it works, and that's how a lot of good cops are basically bullied and manipulated into being bad cops, because it seems like the bad cops are all at the top. And I wish I knew how they. Well, I know how they got there: corrupt governments and under the table handies. Because there's no way that those. I mean, but that's what it is. I mean, the pecking. You're exactly right, and there is a pecking order in the seniority in police, and they end up just bullying and forcing the few good cops into being bad cops.
See, I would compare it to the military. Because having experienced military myself, where there is a very clear kind of line of command. Like, because if the direct superior of me told me something, you never questioned it, because you don't do that in the military. And then you just do it. Even if I knew, because I mean, in certain exercises or trainings, I knew that what I was ordered to do is the wrong thing. But I can't stand there and argue with my superior. So I do the fucking thing. And then my superior comes in and berates my superior for fucking up. I knew it was coming, because he fucked up. I feel like there's the same kind of mentality in the police force, where you have like sergeants and lieutenants and whatnot. So if a sergeant tells a junior police officer that you take this little bag of cocaine here and plant it over there, because we know this guy deals, we just need to have the evidence. Maybe the dude knows he's doing wrong, but then again, he doesn't want his fucking career or life destroyed. So maybe he's just fuck it.
Yeah, because especially if you're in one with a lot of people, I mean, you just not breaking the law could lose your job as a cop, or make it unbearable.
Yeah, and imagine like the pressure into like whistleblow that, dude. He's your superior. You're not gonna whistleblow that.
Yeah, who do you tell?
Yeah, who do you tell?
Not to mention
internal affairs were corrupt too.
They were fine.
Not to mention a lot of whistleblowers have ended up dead.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's wild. I read something today that I didn't know, and it's an insane, almost unfathomable level of hypocrisy. They shot tear gas into a crowd. Someone grabbed that tear gas and threw it back and got charged with assault with a deadly weapon. But
Fair.
Whenever cops shoot it, it is non-lethal. But because he picked it up and threw it back at them, it was assault with a deadly weapon.
Yeah, but
how
is tear gas even a deadly weapon?
No, I don't know.
Unless you like, I don't know, swallow it.
Yeah,
like the whole bottle.
I bet that, like, you've seen the sticks the police use, what they used to beat people in the streets with. They're just these wooden sticks. I bet my fucking life on this one. if one protester gets their hand in that one of those sticks and hits a police officer once with it, charged with a deadly weapon.
Oh yeah, you can't even carry those. You like it's illegal. Like a cop could confiscate a baseball bat if he finds one in your car and he suspects it's being used as a weapon. That's why a good friend of mine whose dad was high up in the local police place, he told me, if you want to carry something to protect yourself, carry a baseball bat, a mitt, and a ball, because then at any point you're just going to play baseball. But if something happens, you've got a baseball bat in your trunk.
Yeah.
And that's what's so bad about it, is like, even the things like that, they're ripping away things like to protect myself. Like the cops are actively taking away one of the only things that I could do if it's just a baseball bat. It's silly. It's real silly.
In the midst of these protests, we've also seen another development, in a sense, to tie this into what this fucking podcast is about. A lot of corporations, a lot of companies have also voiced their opinion supporting the protests. We've seen this across the board, essentially. A lot of good takes and then less good takes. The good takes being the companies that pledge to donate money to organizations fighting these different causes. I feel like those stances are not that bad. We have also just what I would consider bad PR moves is when you post a black picture with white text on it condemning racism, and then you call it a day. It's a little bit iffy for me. And yeah, it's but to really take it to the video games, I want to highlight one company in particular. If you think real hard, you might know which one I will rail on.
Is it Blizzard?
EA or Ubisoft? Come on, tell us, Papa Tom.
Last year, I know last year, it's a long while ago. But last year, believe it or not, the Hong Kong protests were a thing. They're still going on, by the way. The media just left them.
Today or yesterday was actually the 1-year anniversary. They've been protesting for one solid year.
It's today.
Is it today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're still going on. Yeah. Last year, Blizzard decided to hand down the ban hammer on a player called Blitzchung. When Blitzchung voiced his support for pro-democracy and the Hong Kong protests in general. Back then, Blizzard said, no. But now, how the turntables have turned.
Turntables have turned.
Blizzard, fuck you.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, as an like the entire company, voiced their support for these protests. And let me remind you, political statements were not cool last year, but they are super cool now when you're not trying to sell to the Chinese government games. But especially Activision Blizzard got probably the most flack because of that, like the blatant like hypocrisy going on with them. And this is I tried to hit these points last year when we talked about it. I think I failed spectacularly on it. But I'll try to make it a second go around. You can't have one set of morals in the United States and another set of morals on the other side of the world. It doesn't fucking work like that. I mean, it does. Obviously, it does because it's been happening fucking everywhere. Fuck you, Blizzard. Fuck you, Activision Blizzard. Fuck you. I don't believe a single fucking second that you care about the protests, black people, or the Black Lives Matter movement. I think you care about those because it makes you look good. But fuck you. And your fucking games.
Getting those good boy points.
Yeah.
Little by little.
If they... I definitely say fuck Blizzard right now on that. If they are consistent going forward, I'll take it back. But they won't be. If they consistently have action, because it's possible that they learned their lesson last year. It is not likely, but it's possible. So if they are consistent going forward like this, then I'll take it back. But right now, yeah, I think that they're just doing it like you said. It's $1. Basically, they think that if they support BLM, it's just free money. So fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. It's fuck.
Yeah.
Incidentally, there's another company I want to rail on that has nothing to do with the protests, but like because of this month is Pride Month. There's another company I want to rail on. You might have seen pictures of this. But this is the month where corporations also rake in the good boy points by changing their Twitter avatars to the pride flag in support of, gay rights and whatnot. I'm gonna be like super honest with everyone. None of those corporations care about if you're gay or not. They don't give a shit. But because somebody somewhere in marketing has said that we're going to have increased sales if you support gay rights, we should probably do this. That's why they do it. So enter Bethesda.
Oh gosh.
Bethesda. Fuck you. You two-faced piece of shit. So Bethesda has a bunch of different Twitter accounts based on where they operate. If you can search Bethesda on Twitter right now. Most of Bethesda's accounts have the pride flag, but then, oh wait, what's that? The pride flag is not changed for the Middle Eastern Bethesda account and not the Russian account? What's that? Oh, that's right. It's illegal to be gay in those places. Bethesda? I thought you fucking support gay rights. How is it possible that you're not supporting gay rights everywhere? Do you also have two sets of morals like Blizzard has? Could it be? Fuck you.
I just looked up Bethesda on Twitter, and their official page has a pride flag, but their Bethesda support page has a black square and it says on white text support. So they're actually double tapping, they're attacking all the points, getting all of them. But
I don't know how I feel
it's just
about
companies.
that.
They just want all the money.
Yeah.
It's good PR in a way. They have nothing to lose when they say that.
Yeah.
Trevor said something when Sony pushed back their PS5 event because of the Black Lives Matter protest. Trevor said something that I'm increasingly moving towards and agreeing with. Companies should never take any stance on anything because their only job is to sell shit to us. I'm starting to get there.
I can agree with that.
I'm honestly
companies aren't people. It's not like a hostess is a person that loves gay people. That's not how that works. If the president of Hostess wants to support gay people and trans rights, maybe he should do something instead of, because it's kind of an empty gesture. You're putting a mask on a faceless entity. Yeah. There's no risk involved for any person involved in it. They're just putting a mask on a faceless entity and just saying we support it without actually supporting it.
Yeah.
It's just silly.
I'm honestly like getting there with Trevor. Because it is I don't trust anything a company says. I trust like even the companies that are donating like real money to real organizations. I don't trust them either. It's just a more expensive PR move that they're doing. Like let's not kid anyone here. If slavery were legal, every single company in the world would practice slavery. They exist for one purpose and one purpose only, to make all of the money. Not some money, all of the money.
Yeah. Because what you have to remember about companies, big companies specifically, is they, and I know that this isn't sweeping, so don't try not to put me in a corner on this one, but they had to step on somebody to get where they are. Like there is no way a company can be like worth $1 billion without shitting on someone. And it's there, so there's hundreds of people that all those companies have taken advantage of all along the way. Everyone, all the higher ups in that company have taken advantage of people and stepped on people. So yeah, that's one of the things you should remember. Whenever you think a company or a corporation or some major faceless CEO says that they support something, they don't. They don't support you. They support your wallet. That's what they want. Because those same people stepped on and shit on everyone on their way up. Because there's a reason that Johnny Smith is CEO and not someone else. And that's because Johnny Smith doesn't care about anyone below him, and he will take everything he can from them to get to where he is. They don't care about you. They care about your wallet.
That definitely makes sense. And I want to make this more political. And this is basically what politicians do. They just say anything they can possibly say just to get your vote. Not money, but your vote. That one thing that matters, they want from you. And I don't, that's why I don't believe them either. It doesn't matter who you vote at that point if everybody just lies.
Yeah. That's the major thing, is you can just say whatever you want, and if you have no morals, it doesn't matter. If I was running for some kind of public office and I made a bunch of promises, I like to think I'm a decent person. I would try to fulfill those promises. But like I said, I try to be a decent person, and that a politician can't be. I mean, a high level politician, and that's why you don't see high level politicians that are genuinely good people, for the same reason that Johnny Smith, CEO of Hostess, or whoever, not Hostess specifically, that's just for some reason the first one that popped in my head. But it's the same thing. The high level politicians stepped on and shit on everyone to get there. They don't care about you. Politicians don't care about you. They care about your wallet. Your local government is the only one that you should be like. Those are the people that actually care about you, because those are the ones that are in your community. Those are the ones that are going to be there for you. And they're not going to end up in Congress, because there's a lot of, and I know that a lot of local governments are super corrupt as well, but it's more likely that someone in your local government is going to actually care about you specifically.
Bottom line, fuck capitalism, fuck government, anarchy, baby, let's go!
Yeah. I'm a fan of money. I think I do think that capitalism works if nobody's a shithead. Unfortunately, the world is full of shitheads, so it doesn't work. So
yeah, I've been critical about capitalism since I started streaming. I've been very open about it. I think capitalism works when you restrict capitalism.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. If there was some level of restriction that would stop people from taking advantage of everyone on their way up, some checks and balances of some kind, then yeah, it would be fine. But it's not. Everyone's
I don't know, environmental laws. You have to take those in account. They sort of make capitalism a little bit not so free. Like, there has to be something. You have to do something in order to restrict so it actually works. Otherwise, it's just gonna spill all the bad shit all over the place.
Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, remember when it used to be a show about video games?
Yeah.
We can talk about video games now, though. If we want to end that, we can move on to Twitch and talk about more frustration.
Boy. Yeah, we let's. I haven't used a single I haven't changed the topic. I noticed 10 minutes ago that I'm still on welcome, and I just put it off. I won't have any topics for this one. Fuck it. Twitch, get your shit together. Fucking well, it's not even Twitch's fault.
Yeah.
Why
That's what I was about to say. I think Twitch is as much a victim right now. Well, not as much, but Twitch is also a victim. I'll say that because they're just following the law. That's it.
Yeah. So what's happening? So there's a big scare right now going on with DMCA takedowns. I believe 3 songs specifically were targeted. I think there was an Ariana Grande song, a Taylor Swift song, and some dude's song. I'm not super sure. And the scare right now is that a lot of people got hit on clips. So if you use copyrighted music on Twitch, the VOD gets muted, but clips don't. So if I play Iron Maiden the Trooper, and you guys clip that, then Iron Maiden the Trooper will be heard on that clip. So a bunch of big streamers' clips got hit, and the scare right now is that, well, they're gonna get banned because of it. And I'll echo Sully here a little bit. Don't fucking play copyrighted music, you fucking dipshits!
I think that's the only advantage of being an affiliate as opposed to a partner. We don't have any VODs. What are you gonna do? What backlog are you gonna go through? The last 2 weeks where I streamed once?
We have clips though.
We do have clips, yeah. And that's actually, Sully, I want to thank you because way back, I think pretty close to when you first started watching me, the advice you gave me is still something I follow. Just don't play music. So I don't. There's the few times that I've played a little bit of music, like during unboxings, or that one time I played different music on my opening, that's it. So it's 3 times total. And it's because you told me not to, and I don't. And now it's paying off.
Yeah, I like your opening jingle. It's so good.
Thanks. Yeah, that's from Earthbound, so I very much doubt that it's the song that plays while you're putting in your name on Earthbound. So if that if that gets copyright struck, I'll be real surprised, but I'll take it down. I'll change it.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of confusion going on still with this thing on what's actually going on. The bottom line is that per Twitch's own TOS, playing copyrighted music is against TOS. So I mean, even today when I played music before the show started, I played copyrighted music. I was actively breaking TOS. But the VOD will be muted, and I mean the recording starts after the song, so they never end up on YouTube. So I don't know. I think Twitch definitely could have better tools for this, for the streamers themselves, because I understand the frustration when there was some people on Twitter too said that they have over 100,000 clips. You don't go through 100,000 clips and delete the ones with copyrighted music. You can't fucking do that. There's just too many clips. And I understand that. But Twitch is only complying with the DMCA takedowns that come from anyone. Anyone can issue a DMCA takedown, which I think the system itself is broken by that standard, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, Twitch is just complying with the law. I mean, it's a different discussion if the law should be changed or whatever. I think it's petty if somebody starts taking down streamers because they have like background music, but what you gonna do?
Yeah, but it's still, I think it's more at Twitch's fault, in my opinion, because they do nothing to enforce that streamers don't play copyrighted music. They do nothing about it.
Well, how would they? How would they stop?
Yeah.
Like if Tom wanted to start playing music right now, how would they stop him?
I don't know, give him ban when they notice it.
Well, that's what they're doing. They're noticing it now. That's what's happening.
Yeah, but you are you sure that whenever like Twitch staffer or whatever pops up into a chat and he hears music, like I think this guy might not pay for this copyright.
Yeah.
I think I might ban him, this guy. Like they don't do that. It's
Yeah, that's
only
true.
when someone from outside does the claim.
Yeah. And I think that's just part of their system. Like you have to report it.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, there's a lot of people that were probably hit that a Twitch staffer has never been in their channel, you know?
Yeah, probably.
So, I mean, I get what you're saying. I don't mean to just try to be argumentative, but yeah, I think it would just be tough to be able to do that. However, like Skittles in the chat said, and I don't know if you guys can confirm this or not, someone was muted midstream for playing copyrighted music.
I saw a clip of a dude claiming that he knows that behind the scenes is in the works by a third-party company that they're developing tools for, specifically Universal Music and Sony, where they can strike channels while they are live. I have not seen anybody being already muted midstream.
Was that the he had gray hair, I think, and glasses?
Yeah, that was on DJ Wheat's. DJ Wheat is one Twitch employee.
I got you. Yeah, that's where I saw it from, was that, but I wasn't sure if that was true or if it was just rumors or what was going on, because that would be nuts. That's what I was, whenever before the stream I asked Tom what if he was still going to play music, and that was a legitimate worry for me, was that we were going to get muted, because I don't know how long those mutes last. I mean, you know, it was midstream. That's nothing. They might just mute us for the rest of the podcast. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, and honestly, like getting DMCA strikes on the channel is bad. Like on YouTube, at least, you don't get DMCA'd. They just claim the video. But like the system on YouTube is broken beyond belief anyway. But I think it's still, because I posed these questions to Sully. Sully doesn't really want to talk about this himself, but what happens when you play Guitar Hero? What happens when you play GTA? What happens when you play Need for Speed? What happens when you play any game that has licensed music in it? And see, this is the answer for it. Read the end user license agreement. If it's a smart publisher, they will specifically put in the terms of service that yes, you can stream this game with the music on. But if there's nothing like that in the end user license agreement, then don't stream that game. Then it's also like, who the fuck reads those things? But like, ultimately this is just like what the law says. And right now Twitch TOS says that you can't play copyrighted music on stream. Like, there is no way you do that unless you own a license to play that music. And let's be real here, nobody has those licenses. So what happens when you pop in GTA 5 and you put the radio station on? Because I know on YouTube, on Let's Plays, they mute them because the videos get striked immediately.
Then you play the game without the radio.
Yeah, I guess you would. Yeah, I guess you would have to. That would. Yeah.
But yeah, so then when you like pop in Guitar Hero, you just hear click 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 click.
Oh, that's amazing!
Wow, he's really clicking fast.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's a good. I wonder how many VODs were taken down for some of those games already though.
I assume none of the VODs because the VODs get muted.
Yeah.
But there's
Yeah.
still
Well,
like the clips were the ones that got hit because the clips have audio. So like I don't know. And yeah, Beat Saber is another good one, like because Beat Saber doesn't. I think Beat Saber doesn't have even a library. It's just people doing the tracks themselves.
Yeah.
And I bet my left nut that the creator that did a Beat Saber song for I don't know Enter Sandman did not buy a license for Enter Sandman.
Yeah. Probably not. I don't know. They're gonna have to figure something out. But till then, it's gonna be poopy.
Yeah, I spoke on another Discord about this. Like, it's a not totally related, but if a publisher wanted to take us down for streaming a game, they could completely do that too. But we just live in this world, this ecosystem where we just collectively all decided together that we should let people stream video games. But at any moment, any rights holder can decide, just wake up one day and be like, no, you will not stream this or this game on ever again on any site. And they could issue DMCA takedowns for those streams too.
Yeah, if the company has something against you, they just happen to be in a bad mood on that day, they can be like, I don't like you and I don't want you playing our game. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Luckily, the world is hyper aware whenever anything like that happens, and that company gets blacklisted quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the classic examples is when Total Biscuit got hit with a real DMCA takedown notice from a developer who I don't remember the game's name, but he gave like Total Biscuit gave a really shitty review. I mean, he shat on the game. There was nothing wrong with his review. It was truthful. The game was shit, and the developer just didn't like that. And yeah, I don't think those developers make games anymore.
Yeah, probably not. It's real silly.
And I mean, YouTube has a long history. It's been worse on YouTube, especially like way back in the day. A lot of creators blacklisted for themselves. Sega was notorious on claiming videos. And Nintendo back in the day also decided that nobody can post Nintendo related videos if they don't give Nintendo a portion of the income that they make from the videos. So I mean the problem has been on YouTube worse, I'd say. I think streaming is a little bit different because everything is live and it's not a persistent video that stays up. But yeah, companies have abused, I think, the system on YouTube way more than they are abusing the system on Twitch.
Yeah, I think after it happened and I found out the details that it was just someone doing mass strikes, I'm shocked it didn't happen sooner, honestly, because it's been happening on YouTube for years now, years and years and years now. I'm really surprised that it took this long for someone to do that.
It's also like interesting to think what will happen with like React channels.
Yeah.
And like especially like those types of streams that just watch YouTube videos. And like there's always songs slipping through on those streams too.
Shouldn't they fall under, I don't know, like
Fair
fair use or something?
No. you reacting to a video is not fair use.
Yeah, it depends on the amount of that video you use. If you're just like watching the whole video front to end, you're gonna get smashed. But if you've got like a clip here and a clip there, you'll probably be fine. But even then, those clips, they can still try to do a copyright, and then they'll just end up getting shut down.
I'd like to remind everyone that one of the Pantsless Podcast videos on YouTube has been falsely claimed by a rights holder, and it is falsely claimed. I mean, I am a victim of an illegal practice, mind you, because I showed the Kerbal Space Program 2 trailer on stream with sounds on, and trailers fall under fair use. They can be distributed as much as I fucking want to, and they still fall under fair use. So that video being claimed is a false claim. But I don't make money from those YouTube videos on anyway, so essentially YouTube is cucking themselves.
Do you guys know and I'm sure you do, the streamer, I can't remember her name, she's a blonde girl that has synesthesia, and she sees music as colors. Have you guys seen her? Well, she's got synesthesia, and like she'll listen to a song, and then just like listening to it once, she'll play it on the piano. It's kind of crazy. The point I bring her up. Yeah, so the reason I bring her up, that's her whole shtick. That's her whole channel, and it's an incredibly popular channel. Is she'll listen to copyrighted music and then play it on the piano or whatever instrument she's playing. I think she plays a ton. So her channel's done. They've completely killed her career by doing what they've done.
Yeah, I mean, the workaround for her is that she can listen to the song so that only
like
she
on a headset.
Yeah, only she hears it, and then she can play it. Live performances of songs are still permitted on Twitch.
Right, yeah, because her playing it on the piano definitely falls under fair use. Yeah, I guess she could just listen to it on a headset and then play it out. I feel like that would be way less impressive, though.
Mm-hmm. It would. What's actually like? I'm gonna paint like a really like doomsday picture. Like, let's say all copyrighted music like gets automatically claimed. What would happen if a musician plays their own music that they don't own? Because almost every musician does not own their own music. The record label owns the music. So let's say Herman Lee from Dragon Force plays Revolution Dead Squad, which is years old, and Herman Lee does not own that song. The record label does. Let's say he plays that song, and he gets copyright striked for playing his own fucking song. Yep. And I mean, that's some dystopian fucking shit at that point, but it's totally fucking feasible.
Yeah, I don't think it's honestly. I don't think it's that dystopian. If they're already developing stuff like you were saying earlier to try to detect that midstream, I think that kind of stuff is probably not that far off. If they're trying to make an automated system like that, I think that's a very real reality we could live in. Now, granted, they may, when depending on the person, the record label may just let them do whatever they want, but I mean, for a lot of people, I doubt they will.
There's a couple of drummers I watch on Twitch, and what they usually do is they play the song, and then they play drums with the song, and that's also like I sat and wondered. It's a live performance, but like over half of the live performance is still a recording of a copyrighted song, which again does not really fall under the fair use and definitely not under Twitch's TOS, because Twitch allows live performances but not recorded performances. And I mean, it's all a bunch of fucking weird shit. Like, honestly, I have no fucking idea how any of this works. My only like what I can say to any broadcaster is that just don't play copyrighted music. or do and face the consequences. Basically.
Yeah, that's what it boils down to.
Games?
Games.
Yeah, I started replaying Uncharted 2.
Oh.
How's that?
I love Uncharted. I think all the Uncharted games are good. I'm like I wouldn't say that I'm a Naughty Dog fanboy, but I've played Crash 1, 2, and 3 when I was a kid, and then I played Jak 1, 2, and 3 when I was a teenager, and now I played Uncharted 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I played Last of Us, and my God, I'm gonna play Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a shitter on one of the discords I'm in who said Last of Us is a trash game. And
Damn.
and look, like, you don't have to like Last of Us. That's not like you can love it or hate it, I don't care. But I latched on to the trash game part. Because then I was like, okay, if it's a trash game, well, then we have to define what a trash game is. So I said that is it as trash as Superman 64, which is not even my opinion, it is a broken mess. Like, technically a broken game, you can't fucking play it because it's so trash. That's a trash game.
A lot of people consider it the worst game ever made.
Yeah. So is it as trash as Superman 64? I don't know. But so I was trying to like prod the dude by like defining what a trash game is. And I got an answer. He actually answered it. A trash game, according to him, is any game that has more cinematics than gameplay. And then I'm like, but it doesn't have more cinematics than gameplay. Sure, it's a cinematic game. It has a lot of story. It's very linear. So is that a trash game? But then, as I prodded more, no. The ending was bad. Therefore, the entire game is a trash game.
Well, there you go, I guess. I don't know about that. I mean, there's been a lot of really good games that just have a shitty ending. And guess what? There's still good games that just got a bad ending. It happens.
I don't even think that the ending of Last of Us is bad.
I don't even know. I've never played it.
Oh, you definitely need to play it.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. But yeah, I know that pretty much everyone that has played that game loves that game. So I feel like anyone that's like that, and it's not 100% true, but there's the type of people out there that go against something just because it's popular.
That shitter is definitely one of those. I mean, we were talking about like the DMCA things today, and he said, let me pull it up so I can get the direct quote. Up here. Where? Go. Oh, there we go. So we're talking about like the DMCA things. So he said. So I said, a lot of small independent artists are probably jumping on this pretty hard now, promoting their own music because it's an opportunity for them. And he responded then, good. Bankrupt mainstream entertainment. It's good for nothing. Bankrupt mainstream entertainment. Like, the irony is that he says that in a Discord channel dedicated to a community centered around video games, which are the most mainstream thing right now. I'm quoting another guy there. Like, he doesn't even understand what he's saying. Bankrupt mainstream entertainment.
Does he realize that if we bankrupt mainstream entertainment, then just something else will then be mainstream entertainment? Because there's always got to be mainstream entertainment.
Yeah, no, I don't think he understands his own statement. This is the same guy. This is the same guy I posted a picture on Twitter where essentially like we were talking about violence and how to and free speech and how to punish people who do something wrong, and I got him to admit that he thinks that Hitler did literally nothing wrong.
Nuts.
Per his own logic, which is, I honestly like, that was such a yikes moment.
Like, he could have just admitted, I was wrong. My opinion was wrong, but no, he decides and says that thing. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think I said something along the lines like, per your own logic, Hitler did nothing wrong. And then he said, yeah, because he didn't. And I'm like, you...
He could have said, well, when you point it out like that, I guess I'm wrong, but no.
There's a million better responses to that. Like, he could have even jokingly said, well, okay, not Hitler, and that would have been better than what what is, I don't know. People are dumb.
It was definitely a sweet Jesus.
There's nothing you can. What do you even say about that? What do you say about someone who thinks Hitler was okay? You know, there's nothing to say.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, fucking weird. Yeah. So Monster Train has been released, and Joe and North has been playing it, and they're gonna tell you now. Yeah, they're gonna both tell you guys now why you should also purchase that game.
How many hours do you have in it now, North?
Oh,
because I think I'm sitting around 30.
What the fuck?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think I played it that much.
That's a lot of hours, dude.
I played it for I have 28 hours on it. Okay, I played
You have more than me, dude. I have 26. You say, really? I don't think I have that much. And then beats me by 2 hours.
The funny thing is, I played that game for 3 days, and then I stopped.
Oh my god. That's funny. Yeah, it's a blast, though. I love Monster Train.
Yeah.
If you liked Slay the Spire, you're going to like Monster Train, I think.
Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, maybe. It's only maybe. First, it felt like, oh, this is something new and this is something brilliant. But when you play it over and over again, at some point you come to a point where you realize that this shit is totally unbalanced. It's, in my opinion, that's what I encounter. Because sometimes you get a really good set of cards to start with, and you get a custom relic at the beginning. It could be anything from oh, you have 2 more energy every single turn, or it's something I don't know, maybe 10% chance if you kill someone you get 1 gold. How you start the game, there's so much RNG at the beginning of the game that it's not fair. It's just unbalanced. You have to have some sort of starting point. You start off with this character and these cards, and then you go on about it. Like Slay the Spire. You start off with the basic cards, attack, defend, and then you get curse, 1 relic, or you can re-roll the relic into something new. But no, you get every single thing except the main character. It's different every single time you start. And the train, stewards, and torch.
What am I doing? I haven't played the game in the whole time you were talking. What am I even doing right now?
I don't know. That's why I had to switch to something else.
Yeah, I totally mirror North's opinion on it. It is fun, and it does seem like there's something fresh and new. But this setup that I'm doing right now is literally the best combination of decks that you can use. If you're not using this deck combination, you're going to have a bad time. You've basically got to get lucky any other time. I've played 26 hours, and I'm the type of guy that doesn't. I like to mix it up because, like North said, you just end up kind of doing the same thing over and over because there's only really a couple good strategies right now. But I'm the type of guy that, like, I've beaten it with Hellhorned as my main and Awoken as my backup. I don't have any interest in playing that again. I've conquered that deck combination, and I know that that's not how people think, but that's my mindset. So I want to move on to the next challenge. So out of my 26 hours, my second game was a win, and that was this. I believe that was this game. I have won a total of 3 games now out of 26 hours of gameplay because I refuse to play Hellborn Awoken again. And my other 2 wins, my other 2 out of 26 hours of gameplay, I feel like I just got lucky because there's too many options for what you can do, and they don't give you enough options to like build that strategy. They don't have, like, unlike in Slay the Spire, you are constantly getting cards, so you can kind of get a really good idea of how you want to build your deck. But in this, you don't really get cards all the time. You get 1 from the end of the fight, or 2 from the end of the fight, 1 for each of your classes or your races. And there's only like 7 fights in the whole thing. So in the entire game, you basically get like 12 cards, or 14. Yeah, 12 because the last one doesn't give you because it's the boss. So there's just not enough opportunities to fine tune your deck. So I feel like a lot of time, unless you get lucky, you're just winging it, and it ends up panning out poorly.
Yeah, and I think the most important turns in a fight is the first turn and the one before the boss rush. Because when you start the match, you have to, like, you can put the car or your main character on these floors, and there's 3 floors. If you put it on the first floor on your first turn, there's a high chance it will die, and the whole run is over basically because there's only a handful full of things you can do when your main character dies. And then there is the last turn. You have to have everything as good as possible on the last turn because the boss comes on the first level and starts beating the hell out of anyone on that floor, and then freezes that floor and goes to the one above that. But the thing is, you want to win at the first floor because you get more points that way. The points doesn't really, like, they don't matter. They're just like high score. But still, I want to get most of the points. So I want to kill that boss on the first floor and not the second to last floor. So I still want to, like, have my hero on the first floor, but there's a high risk it will die because the enemy characters they're overpowered. Like, you have to have multiple turns, good cards, and maybe have maybe kill a few enemies so you have enough damage at the last turn. Basically, it's so weird. Like, I struggle to understand how you're supposed to play this, and it gets harder and harder when you go like these Covenant ranks. Every single time you win the game on a different rank, you can take it 1 notch higher, and it increases the RNG. Like, the first time you go to the first rank, I think it gives you.
I think it just makes them stronger. Is the Covenant one? I think you're thinking of Deadweight.
No, yeah, Deadweight.
I think that's Covenant 2. Okay. Is Deadweight. Covenant 1 is just they're slightly stronger.
Yeah, and they get a lot stronger because I watched Sully play his first playthrough. The last boss had 900 health. And I think my last boss on Covenant 5 had like 2,200 health. So the difficulty ramps up real hard. And even if if you like start the game, you beat the first wave of enemies, and maybe like first like you clear like 3 mini bosses, and you feel like you're going strong, but then the difficulty ramps up even more. And if you just happen to have a bad rewards, you won't be able to like increase the strength of your deck. You will lose the next round. I think the RNG is just too high on this.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is the whole reason that and I'm not going to say it's a bad game because I do enjoy playing it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the RNG is just way too high. Every deck has 2 or 3 different strategies you can do, and not all the strategies are fleshed out at the beginning. So you can basically start building for a strategy that you haven't unlocked the good cards for yet. And like I said, it's if you like these 2 things are obviously the best combination. So it's really hard to unlock the what everyone else can use because you're just losing over and over. So you have to lose over and over to unlock the good cards. Like I beat it with the melting men or whatever they're called, the wax guys and the umber. Finally, I played that combination because I knew that if I got the right build, it would be super easy. I played that combo probably 15 times. And on that 15th time, the RNG lined up. And I beat that ass. And it was awesome. But it would probably take me another 15 times to get it.
Is the game still in early access?
No.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
don't think
full
so.
release.
But that's the scary part. Like,
yeah.
This game will die pretty fast unless they do something about the RNG. For some people, the RNG factor might be the one that tickles their pickle at that point, because this amount of RNG in a game is just... I've never seen anything like this, except maybe Dicey Dungeon.
Oh my gosh, man. Dicey Dungeon is unplayable because of the RNG. Unplayable.
Yeah, I mean, I think I voiced my my opinion on like RNG and those types of games with Dicey Dungeon. I think like ultimately the more RNG you have, the less skill is involved, and with less skill it becomes less rewarding. Like you don't feel like you win. The game decides for you if you win or lose. And I personally don't want to play a game like that.
That was my first impression when I watched Joe play it. I went to his stream and I looked at the game and I was like regardless what you do, you're gonna end up winning. Like I felt like even whatever he would pick, he would win at that point, because he just happened to be at that point where he would just roll over everyone. Like,
Yeah,
look at this character. He has 106 times 2.
Yeah, 106
and like 79 armor. Like,
yeah,
you can't lose with that.
No, and I didn't. That was my first win, and it was easy. That was an easy game. I've never had a game that easy again. That's like this, and this was like, if you tell, I have 2 relics. That's it. 2 relics, and one of them is from the first main boss, Daedalus. But my second relic is so ridiculous that I don't need anymore. That second relic stops my rage from deteriorating. The guy behind my leader makes my rage worth 2 or 3 damage instead of 2. And then this big horn guy generates rage every time he kills somebody. And so does my hero. Every time he kills somebody, he gets like 6 rage. 6 rage is 18 damage.
And every time your hero gets hit, he gets rage.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm sorry. Yes, yeah. Every time he gets hit, he gets, I think, 3 rage, and then he just gained 10 more armor for killing the boss. So that's how ridiculous it is that this is the second of 3 bosses, and he didn't even make it past my main guy. I didn't have anyone protecting my hero, but I'm already so busted that I didn't even have to do anything. I just sat there.
Yeah, I think ultimately, like, this game will live or die based on like it doesn't sound good if you guys, like, if you're describing like that you do like one thing, one tactic, one with the deck or whatever, and you do always that. I mean, I think that's really bad. There has to be customizability, like if it's a card game, which this essentially is. At least with Slay the Spire, you have the different characters, and within those different characters, you have like different builds you can do based on the cards that you get, and you can like customize your run, like mid-run, which I think makes Slay the Spire so popular, like how it is popular. But
yeah,
I think 75% of the time when there's a chance to take a card, I don't even take it because I'm so used to playing Slay the Spire where you want to keep your deck at like 20, 25. Maybe that's like the range you want to have. And I just don't take them because I feel like most of the cards that they offer are useless.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, obviously, like you have a lot of hours in Slay the Spire, so you know the meta way better than what I ever will do because I don't play that game anymore. And yeah, I mean, I know the Slay the Spire meta where you don't have a 60 card deck. That would like not work.
Yeah.
And you try to keep it like small.
And that's like just a general TCG meta. Like that's what you do. That's why like in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh and competitive Magic, basically any competitive game, unless they have a specific strategy for having a large deck, that every competitive deck will be minimum. Unless they have a way to thin their deck, every competitive deck will always have the minimum number of cards they can have. Because the fewer cards you have, the more likely you are to draw something you want.
Yeah.
And the issue with this is that it doesn't give you enough opportunities to customize your deck. And with Slay the Spire, there are 3 or 4 different strategies that every one of the characters has, and probably not 3 or 4, more like 2 or 3. But a lot of those cards are still useful in the other strategies. Like, you know, if I'm playing as the warrior on Slay the Spire, then it's fine for me to get the occasional clash that it just is a free attack if I don't have any attacks in my hand. But if you pick the wrong card in this, there's a lot of cards that are totally dead if you don't have the other cards to go with it. Like the Stygian, one of their mechanics is that they discard cards, and then that card gets played for free. Well, if you get one of those cards that cost like 4 because they're meant to be discarded, so they have a high cost because you're supposed to discard them and play for free. If you pick one of those and then the rest of the run you just don't get any opportunities to get a card that makes you discard, it's just a dead card. You're not going to want to pay 4 for it.
And one of the cards that the Hellhorn has is this card that costs 10, and it has like 100 damage and 40 health, but you have to have imps to lower the cost of the card. But if you don't have any imps, what are you going to do?
Yeah. That's I played a game where I was someone in Hellhorned, and one of my starting cards was Impalate. I didn't get any imps the rest of the whole game. So I had just a dead Impalate because I was hoping, because I wanted to do an imp build so bad, and I was like, this is the one, Impalate all the way. And then I just didn't get any imps.
That's really odd that the game presents that type of system, because I would think that type of system is more suited for games like Hearthstone, where you build your deck before you play. Like you can have a Murloc deck in Hearthstone. It'll be pretty fucked up if you try to do a Murloc deck like in Slay the Spire way or Monster Train way, where you pick a Murloc card and then it has like a scale like all Murlocs get +1 or some shit, and you don't get any more Murlocs. So it's a useless card at that point. I think it's why would you have a system in place where cards benefit from each other if it's so limited?
Yeah. So yeah, it's real silly and then the relics are the most unbalanced garbage. My God, the relics. Have you ever gotten the what's it called? The one that makes your train stewards just totally busted? Have you got that yet?
No.
It gives all your train stewards multi-attack and two levels of damage shield. Every one of them. How is that? How is that in the game? How is that just as good as this stupid wing I got that makes it to where consumed cards have a 50% chance of not being consumed? How is that wing and making your train stewards the most busted thing in your deck the same thing? Because that's how I won once. No. Yeah, one of my wins was because I had busted train stewards and I made him giant. So it was a train steward with 44 attack and 48 health with multi-attack and 2 levels of damage shield.
Yeah, one of my runs went like this. I started the match and I got like the starting relic, and it was every single unit cost 2 less. And I beat the first wave of enemies, and I go to shop to or like get more allies, and I get the dude that cost 4, but he has like crazy damage and health. And then I get like multi-strike on that guy, and I can spawn 2 of them thanks to that starting relic, and it just destroys everything. It's just broken. Just because I got that 2 things that went right at the beginning of the round.
Yeah. Another busted one if you can get the combo, and it's just silly and it shouldn't exist, but it does. Have you played the Melting Men much?
Couple. I think I've won once, but it's really
they're tough.
Really,
They're not
tough.
Yeah. So the game that I won, or no, it wasn't even the one that I won. It was busted, but it wasn't busted enough. There's a Melting Man card that's like a waxy mass or quivering mass or something, and it's just like a bundle of waxmen melted together, and whenever it dies, it splits, and then whenever those 2 die, they split. Every buff you put on the big one trickles down to those. So I was playing Umber that buffs monsters every turn with those morsels, and I put a morsel maker behind him. So every single turn, he was getting +3 damage, +3 health. The bottom level are supposed to have 3 and 3, I think. My bottom level Waxmen were like 25-25. And if I put multi-attack on the big one, all the little ones have multi-attack. How is that fair? How is that balanced?
I don't know.
So
and
yeah,
one thing I kind of hate about this is that it shows the little red X next to the health of the enemy, and it shows that this enemy will die when you press end turn. And I kind of don't like that, because I want to like think about is this okay? Should I heal this target before, or maybe if I use this torch, maybe it will kill that guy then. But it shows me it will die when I end my turn. Like, it doesn't let me like calculate it. When I play Slay the Spire, I usually calculate my cards, but I have like, okay, these add up to like 27, and this guy has like 50 health, and maybe in 2 turns I can kill them. But no, this guy, like, this game shows you that it will die at the end of the turn.
But okay, so if it shows that it's gonna die, well, then what's the point of the animation?
Suspense.
Yeah.
There is no suspense. You know exactly what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's something that I'm not a huge fan of either. Is that it shows that they're gonna die.
Because then you also know that when you're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Right. I do think spell decks are super, super tough to win with, unless you just get lucky and get the right combination. Because the way that the bosses work is when they actually start attacking, they have a thing called Relentless. So normally the monsters do their attacks and then they move to the next floor. Bosses, as you've seen here a couple times, the bosses just start on a floor and they attack until everything in that floor is dead. So they just attack. So at that point, I'm already at a huge advantage because I do tons of damage during that round. But once, like, if you don't kill the boss before the combat round as like the Stygians, you're just done. You lose. Because there's almost nothing they can do, because it's not like during that Relentless round, or even when they're in the Pyre, which I think is bullshit. I think you should have 1 turn to cast spells when they're in the Pyre, because it just seems like that means that there's nothing you can do. If you're gonna die when they get to the pyre, you're gonna die, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Yeah. So you just have to sit there and watch them smash your pyre back and forth until you die.
How are you expected to kill a character that has 2,000 health, and you have cards that deal like 2 damage, but you can use them only for 4 turns? No, 3 turns.
Yeah. I also think haste is bullshit. I have lost my entire middle floor to bosses with haste. Oh. I think that's the dumbest thing, dude. I had a loaded middle floor once, and the boss just skipped it, and it dies. So haste makes it to where they skip a floor, and if whenever a boss clears a floor, they fill it with ice. They just freeze it, and you can't use that floor anymore. If a boss skips a floor, the floor they skipped is filled with ice, and everything in it dies instantly. So and you don't know if people are going to have haste. It's not in the tooltips, I don't think. Unless I'm wrong, I don't think them having haste is in the tooltip.
When you begin the fight, it will, let's see, well, probably shows in the video, but when you begin the fight, it will have like these characters on this side and some text here. And if you like put your cursor on the character, it will show like how much damage it does and if it's gonna bring haste to the squad and stuff like that.
See, there you go. I was wrong. But it's still frustrating because that means that the boss, and it was I think the last time that happened was actually on the boss that we just saw, the big 900 health one. And it's so aggravating to have a floor filled up and it just not matter. Like you might as well the boss skipping the middle floor means the middle floor is totally irrelevant the entire game. Because anything you put there is lost. It's super frustrating.
And to bring more RNG, every single time you go to a boss, they have a different set of debuffs they can bring. Like this guy, I think this one has multi-strike or something. So basically, depending on where he goes, it gives multi-strike. But on a different run, he might have like, he gives his allies spell shields. But if you have a deck that doesn't have any spells, it's basically a useless debuff.
Yeah. This one actually had the best buff for me because it cuts my buffs in half, which is the rage. But I'm pretty sure this is still the one that I win. And yeah, he's got like $2,000. It's not fair. But yeah, overall, I think this has the potential to be a very fun game. It just needs a lot of heavy reworks.
Yeah, you guys have been pretty much shitting on the game for the past 40 minutes. I thought you both liked it.
I do,
but it is fun.
It's a good game, but it could be better, and it should be better. That's my argument.
Yeah,
it is a good game, but it could be better.
That's why I asked about the early access. Like, even though it's not in early access, it doesn't mean that the developers are done with it.
Right.
But early access usually, even though I'm not a huge fan of early access, it still would mean that they at least like are working on it. I mean, they might be working on this anyway. Hopefully they're not gonna go the shitty way where they release like DLC for paid DLC next.
Yeah. Hopefully not, but yeah, the only reason I'm shitting on it is because I like it so much.
Yeah, same.
I know it could be so much more, and it's just not. Excuse me.
So, would you guys recommend the game though?
If you like these type of games and listen to our ramblings, if you're fine with RNG kind of dicking you around a little bit, I think so. I think you'll enjoy it if you like these type of games.
Yeah, definitely. But get it on sale just in case.
Get it on sale just in case, absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But it is fun. It just could be better. I'll probably play it tonight. After all this shit talking, I'll probably just play it whenever we get off here.
I have Joe seen you like, you never mentioned this, but I spy on you, dude.
What's up?
You play a lot of Dark Souls 3. What's that
I do
about?
play a lot of. I just like Dark Souls. It's one of my favorite games.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't played it in a while, and a buddy of mine, one of my best friends, got a new gaming computer that can finally run Dark Souls. He had played it on console, and we wanted to play it together, so we did. We're playing through it right now, and then that gave me the itch. So I was like, man, I've been really meaning to play a pyromancer. So I started playing a pyromancer too on my own. And then another buddy wanted to play. Even though I could have just played the pyromancer, I was like, man, I really like playing a strength character. So then I made a strength character to play with him. And then all three of the characters are getting played. I'm playing without my buddies. I'm just going out and grinding, just playing Dark Souls. I just like Dark Souls.
Did you ever complete Sekiro?
No, I haven't. I am at the second owl fight, and I refuse to let him beat me.
Okay.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that's why I'm afraid to go back to it, because I haven't played in so long. I know I have no chance.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had like a break of 9 months of the game or something like that, close to a year, and I went back, and I thought it was hot shit, but definitely
I would
not.
definitely recommend, if you're gonna play it again, like start from the beginning, because you need that muscle memory to like ramp up a little bit.
Yeah, I probably
full
will.
ham.
It'll be easier now that I know what people do. So, and hopefully that muscle memory will come back in, because I hadn't played Dark Souls 3 in a couple years, and after we got through the first couple bosses, it just all came back, and I died a million times playing my sorcerer with my buddy. But then whenever I started my pyromancer, I've one shot, I don't know, 4 or 5 bosses. It was a really good feeling.
Everyone knows the pyromancer's the noob way, right?
Is it? No, the sorcerer is. My other character is. The sorcerer is the super noob way. That's why I'm playing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd never played a sorcerer in the past, but I heard it was easy, so I wanted to give it a shot.
So what's the odds that we're gonna see Elden Ring tomorrow?
That's hopefully high, but I think unfortunately low. It's not a Sony exclusive, is it?
No, but it probably will be on the PS5.
Yeah. Well, I just if it was a Sony exclusive, that would make it much, much more likely to be on there tomorrow. Hopefully we do see something, though. That'd be sick.
What I am referencing, by the way, for anyone like wondering, tomorrow is the PS5 event, where Sony is unveiling upcoming games for the PS5.
And Elden Ring is the upcoming From Software title.
Yes.
Yep. By the way, where are you shitting, Tom, when you said something about Bloodborne coming to PC?
No, heavy rumors indicate that Bloodborne is coming to PC.
That'd be hot.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's essentially, it might even be the last big PS4 exclusive that's left as an exclusive right now.
God of War and Spider-Man.
Oh shit, yeah, that's true. I was thinking like Horizon Zero Dawn got the PC thing, and honestly, like if Bloodborne comes to PC, I'll buy it. I won't buy it on the PS4 anymore at this point. But yeah, and yeah, hopefully Elden Ring will be PC. Like I don't know, I have no idea if it's PS4 or PS5 or everything.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I don't think they said anything about platforms on the announcement trailer, because I think that's all we've got from it, right? Was just the first trailer.
Yeah. And like there's been like the interviews with Miyazaki, but mainly like the George R.R. Martin was involved. There's been like you ride a horse from area to area. It's gonna be open world, but not like traditional like what other open world games are. And there was a big like leak thing on 4chan that I'm not gonna go into because I have no idea if it's real or not.
Yeah.
But PS5
Hopefully-
event tomorrow, and then I think Ubisoft has an event for like this week. The Cyberpunk event is later this month, and IGN is hosting Summer of Games. They had their first day today. They're gonna have another day tomorrow, and then day 3, I think, after that. And Last of Us 2 is coming out next week's Friday, the 19th. So in 2 weeks, when we have the next podcast episode, I can promise you guys 2 things. One, it'll be way less angry than this episode.
Hopefully.
And hopefully, yeah. And 2, we're going to talk about the PS5 event, and I will definitely be talking about Last of Us 2.
For sure. I'm looking forward to the PS5 event. Hopefully it's not a flop like the last Xbox one.
If I don't think it will be. If anything, I think the Sony people probably watched the Microsoft thing, and they probably watched the backlash of it, and probably made adjustments where they thought they would need adjustments. Honestly, what I want to see is just fucking new games. Just tell me what you're gonna sell me in the future, and don't lie to me. Don't tell me it's gonna be gameplay if it's gonna be cinematics.
Yeah. Hopefully it's good. We'll see. 3 hours of Warframe on PS5. Yeah, that's probably accurate.
Yeah, but
Yep.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else to talk about really. We covered everything. Riots, Twitch, and Dark Souls.
Yeah,
I've been playing Tarkov. Yep. It's still Tarkov. Still getting angry.
Tarkov, yeah. Yeah.
There's no way. I've seen a little bit of that. There's no way. I don't have the patience for Tarkov. Which is ironic because I just said one of my favorite games is Dark Souls 3, and all you do is die.
Yeah, I've just been playing. I was supposed to play this weird Fishman game, on stream for this podcast episode, but then I just decided to stream CS:GO instead. I've been streaming a lot of CS:GO for some reason, and off stream I started playing Uncharted 2. I plan on playing like the 3rd game and the 4th game. I fucking love Uncharted. They're like, I don't care if they're cinematic games. I mean, if Naughty Dog does one thing good, and the only thing that they should do good, is that they make really fucking excellent video games. And I can't fucking wait for Last of Us 2.
When is that?
Next week's Friday.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. I didn't realize it was that close.
It'll be awesome. Neil Druckmann, who is the director of the game, said that some areas of the game are going to be so expansive that you cannot find everything on your first playthrough. And I love that Co Carnage, he
responded
on Twitter with like challenge accepted.
Sure.
Co specifically, he's the kind of guy that he titles like his streams even like 100% run of like brand new games.
100% on hardest difficulty on brand new game.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll do the hardest difficulty on Last of Us. He did the hardest on the first game, and he said that it's one of the hardest experiences he's ever had.
Wow, that's a madman. That guy's got nothing to lose.
I mean, I watch a lot of Co, and like when he plays like brand new games, like he's fucking meticulous how he plays those games. He checks every nook and cranny. He reads everything, and he like takes his time. and he lets chat back see it. Like if he misses something, like if somebody tells you missed one bullet, he'll be like, "Oh fuck, I'll go back," and then he goes back for that one bullet.
Wow.
I like Ko though.
Wow.
I think Ko is one of the most digestible streams that I know on this site.
My most memorable moment watching Ko is like he's focusing on something like important at the game, and he reads the chat, and some dude is like there, "Oh, Ko, notice me," and he's like puts the guy on the spot, like, "I noticed you. Say something important now." And the dude is like, first he does like winky face, and then he goes like, "Noodles," and that's like, well, that's important.
Yeah, apparently Ko has like a mild case of ADHD. He's like talked about it a few times, and he says that it enables him to. He focuses really hard on a lot of stuff really quickly. Like he focuses on the game very hard, and that, but then he constantly also looks at chat, and focuses on chat. And I mean, I don't know. I think he's very good at like reading chat. He has even singled out one of my comments one time, and I felt really special inside, and it made me giggle like a little girl.
That's awesome.
Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. I promise none of the rest of this year's episodes will be as angry as this one. We're living in exceptional times, unfortunate for us, but also I think it's necessary why a lot of things are happening. And I hope everyone will stay safe. Remember, the corona pandemic is still going on outside, and it might kill you, so take precautions for that. If you live in the States, consider peacefully protesting for the Black Lives Matter. Understand that there's been systematic racism and oppression of black people in the United States for a long time. Understand that police brutality is never okay, and understand that those things need to stop. Above everything else, I want equality and justice for everyone. I don't care about your skin color, I don't care about your background, I don't care what religion you follow. And to quote Ice Cube, fuck the police.
I will quote Joe. When he ends streams, he says something along these lines: "Take care of yourself and each other."
And as always,
yeah.
I'm glad no one thinks that's cringy. Yes, because you should. And at the end of the day, all we have is each other. So you should take care of yourselves and each other.
Yes. Thanks for watching, everyone. Fuck you, Blizzard. Smile and wave.